Keira Knightley took a break from filming the 2 Pirates of the Caribbean sequels to attend the world premiere of Pride and Prejudice, and she said she was glad to be back in London with her friends and family. But the star, who wowed the crowd in her purple Matthew Williamson frock and hair extensions, may be enjoying London for another reason. She is rumoured to be dating body rocker Kaz James. Perhaps she likes the way he moves.
Yes, this morning Jackie Brambles has fully embraced the genteel world of Jane Austen and is at one of the gorgeous locations, and they really are, where the movie was shot. And Jackie somewhere... now then, morning. Oh. Wow.
Morning. Now, if you're going to make me dress up in costume, I'm going to demand a Mr. Darcy written into the contract. Thank you, Mr. Darcy. I had a budget for a horse and carriage or a Mr. Darcy, so I went for that one. Hello, good morning. It's been very genteel on GMTV this morning. As you can see behind me, this is Groombridge Place, which actually doubles for Longbourn, the home of the Bennet family, in the new film Pride and Prejudice, which I saw last night, which was absolutely fantastic. Have a little glance at it for yourself.
Think of your family!
You cannot make me!
Mr. Bennet, say something!
So, your mother insists on you marrying Mr. Collins?
Yes, I shall never see her again.
Lizzie, from this day onward, you must be a stranger to one of your
Who
parents.
will maintain you when your father's dead?
Your mother will never see you again if you do not marry Mr. Collins, and I will never see you again if you do.
Mr. Bennet! Thank you, Papa.
Now, if you go and see the movie and you fall in love with the look of it, do come down to Groombridge Place. It's in Tunbridge Wells in Kent, and it's open to the public. The grounds are until November. The premiere took place last night in London at the Odeon in Leicester Square. All the stars were there. Keira Knightley looking absolutely fantastic. Donald Sutherland, who plays her father so well in this film, and Brenda Blethyn, who's just hilarious as her mother. They were at the premiere. Huge crowds outside waiting for them. They spent lots of time signing autographs. Now, as you know, we've got a big Pride and Prejudice week going on all this week on GMTV. Tomorrow morning, Keira Knightley, who flew in early back to this country, not just for the premiere, but to talk exclusively to Fiona Phillips, will be on the show tomorrow. That interview in full, but here's a little taster for you.
I was so terrified that I tried to talk my agents into not setting up a meeting with the director and the producer, because I was like, just don't send me up for this because this is too terrifying. I'm not good enough. I'm not ready for it. Please don't make me do this. And they just went, listen, I'm a huge Jane Austen fan. I've been obsessed, particularly by Pride and Prejudice, since I was about 7. And they just went, listen, you're obsessed. You are obsessed with the book. You'll be fine. Just go and meet him.
Now, probably one of the most classic love stories of all time has been brought to the big screen for the first time in 65 years. There was a telly version, we remember very well. Pride and Prejudice, the movie, premiered last night in London, and the red carpet was out for its all-star cast.
Yo, mic check, mic check. Yeah, here you go. Oh, nah, he over here. Yeah, I heard he got that hot new thing. It's called... Let's get it going. Vibe a second. It's a club, girl, while you arrive naked. Hear that? How the veterans glide the record. But don't download, go out and buy the record. Turn it over and hit it. Turn around now. Turn it over and hit it. Ooh la la la. Turn it over and hit it. Turn around now. Turn it over and hit it.
Oh, that looks good fun, doesn't it? Well, the beautiful people were out last night, and the beautiful people are out this morning. Jackie Brambles was there last night, and she joins us now live from one of the locations featured in the movie, and looks... You really suit that. I think you look absolutely fantastic. That's great.
I have to say, I feel the part. I feel very genteel this morning. We're at one of the houses that was, the filming took place at for 3 months, in fact. It's called Longbourn in the film. And, of course, this is where the Bennet girls live, and this is where they first meet Mr. Darcy. So I thought I'd bring along my own Mr. Darcy. Have a little rest for the moment, Mr. Darcy. Thank you. It was either him or a horse and carriage on the budget for this morning, so I opted for a Mr. Darcy. This is Groombridge Place. It's called Longbourn in the film. It's absolutely beautiful. And what was extraordinary about the filming here is quite often in movies they'll use a fabulous exterior like this and then they build sets inside studios. But here it was so authentic and so perfect for the film that they actually filmed both on the inside and the outside. It's an absolutely beautiful place.
Can't wait to see this movie. I really can't think it's going to be great. Who was at the premiere last night? It looked like, from what we saw, just about everybody.
Just about everybody was there, you're absolutely right. Of course, Donald Sutherland's been on the show this morning. He was there. I think he got the biggest cheer from the crowds because he's done so many fabulous movies over the years. And he said one of the reasons that he was sort of drawn to this film, even though it was with a first-time director, was just because the director, Joe Wright, was so passionate about the project.
He had so much passion, and passion's the only thing that keeps you from being bored, so I wanted to be a part of his passion.
He's a good guy, isn't he? And I'll tell you what, everybody's saying that Keira Knightley, this is kind of her coming-of-age movie, if you like. She really shines in this film.
She absolutely does. Her last film, The Jacket, she was spectacular in. That was kind of a weird thriller. This one, she's very suited to this sort of period piece. And it's a much younger feeling Jane Austen-type movie, I have to say. She's perfect in the lead role of Lizzie Bennet. And of course, there's a new Mr. Darcy. Move over Colin Firth. Here's Matthew Macfadyen, who Keira rates quite highly.
Matthew Macfadyen is so romantic in the film. He really, really is. I mean, I think the film is really told through Elizabeth Bennet's eyes. So at the beginning you don't like him too much, and by the end you're completely and utterly in love with him. And that's perfect.
She is so beautiful, that girl. She really is. Now, Matthew Macfadyen, is he a good Mr. Darcy? Does he smoulder?
He is dark and brooding. He smoulders non-stop, and you do really quite dislike him, I have to say, at the very beginning. He's a very unassuming guy in real life, though, very pleasant, very sort of mild-mannered, and was a little bit intimidated at the thought of taking on this role.
It's one of those parts. It's one of those iconic parts. So it was a thrill. I'm in good company, you know, with Colin Firth and Laurence Olivier. I think even Peter Cushing played Darcy.
Yeah, and of course Colin Firth. And you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful book, marvellous work of literature, but the question that I think we all want to know is, in this movie, does Mr. Darcy get his britches wet? Does he dive in and come out all damp?
He has very tight breeches, I can tell you that, and as he strides across the sort of the moors and things, he looks very, very handsome, but they don't get particularly damp. I do think this is Mr. Darcy for the younger generation. For sort of Keira Knightley's generation, he is perfect. I think for old birds like myself, you can't beat Colin Firth. But Matthew Macfadyen is a fabulous, young, dashing Mr. Darcy.
Oh, wonderful stuff. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing